Heads up, Commanders Nation. You won't believe what's about to go down with the team. Something that could change everything before the trade deadline hits. Word from the GM's office is they're considering parting ways with a key player, one of the biggest draft picks in recent memory. If you're all about bold moves leading to greatness, this one's gonna leave you speechless. And speaking of explosive changes, the ground game duo that's got the team ranked among the league's best is tearing through defenses. An electric QB and an unstoppable running back are putting up numbers no one saw coming this early in the season. Watch out though, they're about to face their toughest test yet. The rivalry on the field is about to be legendary, and what's at stake is way bigger than just a game. But that's not all. The Commanders' head coach just dropped a bombshell about the next opponent that has everyone talking. A crucial trait the opposing team has mastered over the years might just be the key for the Commanders to make a game-changing move. What's the coach hoping to emulate from that squad? And how's he planning to take the Commanders to the top? You won't want to miss this breakdown that could signal the start of a new era for the team. If you need more reasons to stay locked in, this is the content that'll keep you glued until the very last second. Subscribe now and make sure you don't miss a single update. Commanders Nation, listen up. I've got something that's been on my mind, and I'm gonna say it straight. Adam Peters, our sharp new GM, is making the tough calls, and he's not hesitating to move on from players who aren't meeting expectations. Now let me ask you this. What's going on with Jamin Davis? Yeah, that's right. The first-round pick who, let's be real, hasn't lived up to the hype. I'm telling you, and listen closely, his days in Washington are numbered. Peters is in cleanup mode, cutting dead weight from the Ron Rivera era, and Davis is dangerously close to being next on the chopping block. Here's the thing. The team's in an interesting spot. We're sitting at 4-1, all right? We're cruising, with some favorable matchups ahead, but that doesn't mean Adam Peters is going to sit back if certain players aren't pulling their weight. This is where Davis comes into play. Are we really going to keep dragging someone along who's not contributing? Let's talk numbers. Davis, who switched to edge rusher this season, hasn't registered a single pressure in 70 snaps. 70, and he's only got a 65.0 PFF grade. Honestly, you can't defend the indefensible. Now I ask you, how do you justify keeping a player who's clearly not being productive? If the Commanders have a legit shot at the postseason, are we going to waste it by holding on to someone who's not performing at their best? Peters doesn't make rash decisions, that's clear. Every move has a calculated strategy behind it. We're not in the days where the old owner would make wild calls without consulting anyone. Thank God for that. But the reality is, if the team needs to make room or acquire more draft picks, Davis could be trade bait. And if you ask me, it's about time. Here's the deal. It's better to get something for Davis than to let him walk in free agency for nothing. Don't you agree? The truth is, Davis hasn't been the player we expected. He was a key piece during the Ron Rivera years, but compared to top-tier linebackers, he never really found his groove in the role. What does that say about the player? I don't know. Maybe there's talent there, but something's not clicking. Something's missing. I think Jamin Davis's time in Washington is coming to an end. And in my opinion, it would be a smart move for Peters to explore a trade before the 2024 deadline. We can't afford to hold on to what's not working, especially when the rest of the team is firing on all cylinders. Now I ask you this. Who in their right mind would have predicted that Jaden Daniels and Brian Robinson would be one of the top running duos in the NFL? I mean, not even the most optimistic Commanders fan saw this coming. Let me tell you something. We are witnessing something truly special in Washington. When Maurice Jones-Drew, a guy who knows a thing or two about running the ball, puts you on his list of the league's best duos, you've got to pay attention. Daniels and Robinson are that deadly combo of speed and power that nobody wants to face. And don't try to tell me otherwise, because what they've done on the field is nothing short of amazing. The second best rushing attack in the league. Do you even understand what that means? That's no accident, folks. That's the result of some serious work. And I've got to say it. Offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury has figured out how to get the most out of this duo. But now, I ask everyone, do we really think they can keep this up? Especially going up against the top run defense in the league, like the Ravens? Here's what I'm saying. Daniels has been a revelation. We knew the kid had talent, but being top 5 in passing stats and running the way he does? Come on, this guy is doing things we haven't seen since Robert Griffin III. 300 rushing yards in his first 5 games. That's no joke, that's a record. He's a rookie QB setting the league on fire. But now I ask you, will it be enough against Baltimore this Sunday? Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are the duo to beat. This is the matchup of the year, folks. Jackson with his magic feet, and Henry, a beast who can bulldoze through defenses. And the Commanders have to stop them. Now I ask you, do you trust Washington's defense to shut these two down? Because if they don't, it's going to be a long, long day. Look, it's not like we don't have what it takes. With Daniels escaping pressure and Robinson breaking tackles, this team has already proven they can rush for over 200 yards in a game, and they've done it 3 times. But Baltimore isn't just any team. They're the best against the run, allowing only 60 yards per game. Do you really think Daniels and Robinson can keep their touchdown streak alive? I think this game will be a real test for the Commanders. If they can keep their level up, if Daniels keeps running like he has, and Robinson keeps smashing through defenses, this team has a real shot to win. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Washington Commanders Nation, I'm telling you this. Dan Quinn is seeing something in the Baltimore Ravens that we can't ignore. And of course, he's right. Now think with me for a second. What really makes a difference in an elite team? Exactly, consistency. It doesn't sound glamorous, it doesn't sound exciting. But who needs glamour when you've got a winning formula? 5 playoff appearances in the last 6 years and a trip to the AFC Championship last year. That's where the real strength lies. And Coach Quinn sees it clearly. Now I ask you, what are we doing? Why aren't we replicating that? This is where things get interesting, and I'm going to be brutally honest. The consistency of the Commanders has been anything but impressive in recent years. Sure, we've had flashes of brilliance, but who's satisfied with just flashes? Not me. Quinn knows it, you know it, and I'm telling you, it's time to make a statement. It's time for the Commanders to define their identity, which isn't built in 2 or 3 weeks. This takes years. There lies the real challenge, and Dan Quinn recognizes it. It's not just about talent or skill, it's about an identity, a way of playing and competing that the Ravens have had for over a decade under John Harbaugh's leadership. Now, how is it that in all these years, the Ravens have only had 1 season with fewer than 8 wins, while we're still waiting for that big moment? I believe this is our opportunity to change the narrative. Week 6 is our moment to start closing that gap. But it won't be easy. The Ravens aren't going to give us anything. They're a team that knows exactly who they are. Can we say the same about the Commanders? That's where the question lies. And let me tell you this, if we really want to be in the conversation about which DMV team is the best, we have to do more than just compete. We need to set a standard and be consistent. So when Quinn says he's impressed with the Ravens, I am too. And I don't like it, but I assure you, we can surprise them. Commanders Nation. Here's the big debate. What do you think? Should we cut Davis and look for a trade before it's too late? Or maybe you think he deserves another chance to prove his worth in this defense? Drop your comments below. This is a crucial decision for the future of the team, and I want to know what you think. I also want to hear your thoughts on this offensive duo. How far do you think the Commanders can go with this rookie-veteran combo? We're witnessing an explosive pair, and if you ask me, we're seeing the start of something big. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And to wrap it up, Commanders Nation, think about this. What do you think we're missing to become that consistent, feared team everyone respects in the NFL? I've got my ideas, but I want to hear yours. How do you think we can make it happen? If you love talking about these topics as much as I do, this is your place. Join this community, this family. Subscribe to the channel because here together, we discuss what we're most passionate about, the Washington Commanders. And remember, hail to the Redskins,